Hey guys, well, will because it came out of Donald Trump.
What the fuck is this? It's a photograph of a television screen. Again, this is not a meme. It's not a meme.
Mouth, but apparently
No.
willing to sell out the soul of the nation as long as it means they get brownie points against the Republicans and more importantly against Donald Trump. It's
Well, yeah. And the Republicans do the same thing with Trump.
absolutely sickening. Patriotism has died long ago with
Dude, this guy gets it. I see why people listen to him.
Democratic reigns. They just don't care. And their response to this most recent story, the most recent, frankly, scandal involving Eric Swalwell and the Chinese spy who infiltrated his campaign and funded his campaign, proves that exact notion. They'd rather play politics, they'd rather obfuscate than take responsibility and actually make some change to weed out foreign influence, foreign dollars, affecting lobbyist power within American borders.
We're saying this about the Democrats, right? Not Trump. Cause I mean, you know. I'm not even talking about Russiagate. Let's just say just Giuliani even. Just Giuliani. That Trump is like, let's run around the fucking White House. I believe Giuliani's son works in the White House, and I believe he's like his title, he's like the liaison to like the sports teams that come and visit. It's pretty cool. And maybe he was on Survivor.
And this time, Nancy Pelosi coming out with one of the most ridiculous claims I have ever seen in my entire life. And folks, I gotta show you guys exactly what she said. But before we get into today's video,
That's a bold statement from this fella. Oh, we got a sponsor. Look at you go, buddy. Good job. Get that bag.
Back to the video. Alright friends, so of course we all know exactly what's gone on with Eric Swalwell. A Chinese spy infiltrated his campaign. She planted an intern. She was funding him. We have no idea if Eric Swalwell understood what was going on. There's allegations of an affair. We don't know if he was a compromise.
Also to this I'll say, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, everybody. Steve Bannon.
Asset who was working on their behalf. We have absolutely no idea. But the point is, there was a legit
just cleared up. Where was Steve Bannon arrested? By the USPS, Special Police, on a yacht with a Chinese oligarch. Also, Trump's favorite media company, has somebody, one of their main contributors, legitimately work for the Kremlin. So there's that also.
Legitimate CCP agent working within his campaign and funding him, securing his funding. Therefore, Eric Swalwell, regardless of whether or not he knew it, was compromised, and to make matters even worse, he was on the Intelligence Committee. So yeah, it doesn't get any worse than that. And
it gets a little worse than that. The Intelligence Committee. Is that where what's his name presides? Well, he doesn't preside. He's not the chairman. What is it? Jim Jordan committees. Oh, he was in the House Oversight Committee. I think he's on the Intelligence Committee, isn't he? Jim Jordan, old Jim. No, Internet. Let's see, Subcommittee on Courts. No, I guess not.
so, of course, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy not only pushed to get him removed from the House Intel Committee, but has also been going after Nancy Pelosi quite hard. And here is her
well, she deserves it.
Absolutely incredible response where she takes responsibility and pushes for positive change. Yeah, right. Check this out.
I think we should make sure that everybody knows.
Look how he has a source down here at the bottom. When it's obviously Fox already.
What they are being.
But he cuts it off of every other fucking article and news source that he tries to pull in.
Objected to. But I don't know that it means that we have to background checks for every intern who comes into the Capitol.
So I'm going to go ahead and preempt this by saying, yeah, fuck Nancy Pelosi. Nobody likes her dumbass with her $10,000 refrigerator either. She can fuck off too.
I do think that it's unfortunate that Mr. McCarthy is trying to make an issue of this when his leader, we all found out at the same time, the Republican leadership and that several members had been approached.
Were you briefed on this?
We were all at the same moment. The House Republican and Democratic leaders and the leadership of the committee were briefed at the same moment. Make sure you know that, because he keeps going around saying, when did they know? We knew when they knew. And at that time, that was the end of it. But you know what he's trying
Jail
to do?
indeed.
He's trying to deflect attention.
Put them all in jail.
That he has QAnon in his delegation.
Look, she's not wrong. I don't think this is an attempt to deflect any more than any other thing that happens. But yeah, once you do abide QAnon, and I think I've said this before, no, it's supposed to. And it makes me sad that it doesn't, to be honest with you. It's supposed to do that. What is that? A book? Yeah, it does. Well, and so when I was spamming them to test it, they were bouncing all over the screen. But I can't get it to work consistently, and it really sucks. I want to have them all bouncing around and being all festive and fun looking and shit. It's good stuff. Oh, book. Okay. But what kind of book? What is underneath it? Oops. Yeah. Oh, fucking dude, those are awesome. Oh, okay. I thought it was a hand. That's so fucking cool. I want that to happen without bits. I don't know how. I'll look at it again tonight.
Over there.
It does not get any worse than that, folks. Just like I told you.
Oh, we're gonna cite the Daily Caller. Oh, yeah, cool.
She takes absolutely no responsibility. She downplays the entire thing.
What is she gonna take responsibility for, homie?
Even though it is serious, it's one of the biggest threats to American sovereignty, period. It's a threat to national security, it's a threat to economic security, and just sovereign interests in general, and she downplays it as if it's not an issue.
She didn't downplay that. She downplayed... She was downplaying the assertion that they were all in on it, you fucking knucklehead. Because that's what... to which I was referring earlier about the GOP in Congress and in higher levels of government. They are conspiracy nuts. They are so horny for conspiracy theories. Like, everything is a conspiracy with them. It can't ever be that just politicians are garbage or whatever. Or that, you know what I mean? It's always got to be this crazy bullshit where everybody was already in on it. And it only happened because everybody... But they assert that they already know this, that everybody's already in on it. But they never stop it from happening. That's how you know it's a conspiracy theory. It's always in retrospect. And that's what she's all worked up about. I don't know if she cares anyway, because she's a fucking dinosaur as well. But she's not saying, like, it didn't happen or anything. I mean, she did say that I don't know if it requires background checks. That's pretty sus. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that one. But, you know.
Whatsoever. And then goes in to talk about some QAnon part of...
Oh, God, dude. Are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding? Is he really going to be like some QAnon? Like, I have no idea what any of this... Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, dude. Yeah, that's true. Dinosaurs aren't as shitty. They probably didn't have poop where their souls should be, like Pelosi and the rest of them do. That's a good point. But, yeah, fossils are more interesting. I'll say that. They have a better story to tell, and they do usually more to further education in society. But yeah, I know this fucking dickhead is not going to act like he is just so baffled by the suggestion of QAnon, you know? Like, how could they even suggest that QAnon is relevant? Like, fuck you, dude. QAnon's a big problem, and yeah, they're definitely in Congress now, so that's pretty cool. It's not terrifying at all, and I mean that as sarcastically as humanly possible.
Of Congress? How is that the route that she chooses to go?
What do you mean? How is that the route? I'll show you how it's the route. Hold on.
And it's basically the exact same route that Eric Swalwell took in his response in the first place. He literally immediately, when confronted about it, he immediately went to go and blame Trump and to pretend as if it's just some theory or some...
Hey, Pelosi didn't say Trump. Imagine telling on yourself. Imagine telling on yourself like that, punk rat. Imagine it. You said... She said QAnon. You're the one tying that to Trump. But you're acting like you don't know what QAnon is, and like you have no idea why she would have said that, but you're the one being like, oh, he did the exact same thing. He blamed Trump too. She was talking about QAnon. You know they're the same thing, you fucking liar.
some leak from the Trump campaign. It's not.
Well, QAnon, you see here, and I'm about to look that up. Oops, I fucking opened. Oopsie poopsie. There we go. Let's see. This article was written November 5th. So far, 2 QAnon supporters have actually won seats in Congress. That's what Pelosi was referring to. They are, yeah, like QAnon proponents, people that have like retweeted the account, other than Trump himself, which does it all the goddamn time. Well, he stopped after it started to hit the mainstream, which again, I'm on record as calling. But yeah, let's see. What is that one woman's name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a fucking QAnon folk. And she's in Congress. Which is, I'll agree with Pelosi on this, pretty troublesome. Pretty troublesome, if I'm not gonna lie. Pretty worrisome. A very not good thing to happen to the United States. I don't care if it's QAnon or anything else. Having people that are so ingrained in conspiracy theories about vampires, especially when they're accusing an entire political party of being involved in supernatural rituals that they do with the gays that are in the media or whatever the fuck. I know that they have like this big thing about Ellen DeGeneres being part of it for some reason. And yeah, it's super fucking weird. And it's a big deal. However, like, he's acting like he doesn't know what she means while simultaneously telling on himself that, oh, that's what Trump was talking about. Or that's what the problem that they have with Trump.
It's proven your campaign was compromised and maybe you should take a little bit of responsibility. But they don't. It's typical Democrat response.
Hold on, dog. What? How is her campaign from Swalwell? What? What are you talking about, dog? Like, look, man. The Chinese spy is an issue. Definitely. I won't disagree with you on that. However, how the fuck is it her responsibility? Any more than any... So Trump fired how many people, and the excuse for him firing all those people is that he either caught them not doing their job, or he caught them in a situation where they were bad for security of the nation, or whatever the fuck, right? All those people got in first, you feel me? Like, they got into the government, and then Trump had to fire them afterwards. He hired most of them that he fired. So it's like, you know, which side are you going to pick here? They all fucking suck. But to be like, oh, Pelosi needs to directly take responsibility for Swalwell's fuck up. I don't know, man. Swalwell's the one that got popped.
Nancy Pelosi trying to pretend as if it's not a big issue, and she even goes as far to say it's not like we should be doing background checks on people that have come into Capitol Hill. Well,
yeah, that was fucking weird. I don't know why she said that.
Why shouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to?
Although Trump doesn't. Trump's and does not have a good history with security clearance at all. At all. Let's see, even for that. Let's see, Trump, security clearance. I'll just Google that. And we'll see. I forget that one dude's name. Trump team overruled 25 security clearance denials. So that means 25 people were going to be in place in the Trump administration, or otherwise access to, you know, the fucking government. They were either denied or not approved for security clearance. And then the Trump administration overrode all 25 of those denials and said, no, they get a security clearance anyway. So I'm just going to say that anybody who supports Trump, you're not really in a position to chide someone else over security clearance issues, if you feel me. Because he's the fucking worst about it. Literally just saying, oh, that's fine, he's with me. He's in anyway. Or she's with me. She's in anyway. He also didn't Trump just get popped for having somebody, the liaison to the Department of Justice, didn't she get popped for trying to squeeze information out of the DOJ? Let's look that up too. What was her name? She was banned from the Justice Department after trying to get case info. Heidi Stirrup. She was told to get the fuck out of the Department of Justice because an ally of Stephen Miller, who is Trump's top advisor. She was installed in the Justice Department as a White House liaison a few months ago, and within the last 2 weeks was told to vacate the building after they learned she was trying to collect information from the DOJ. So yeah, Swalwell's Chinese spy situation, a pretty bad security fuck up. Trump's entire administration is a long chain and domino effect of security fuck up after 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 security fuck up, whether it was intentional or not. His entire track record is fucking up with security clearance and who should be allowed in the White House. Stephen Miller, by the way, his top advisor, is a fucking white supremacist. He's admitted to it. So, I mean, you know, I don't fucking care about anybody's culpability taken up for other senators or whatever. I just think they all fucking suck.
To create some sort of layer of protection for your own country. Keep in mind, these are the exact folk who cried Russia for 4 years straight, talked about political assets being compromised by the Russian government, and she's here with a straight face announcing to the American people
You can't possibly know that she's wearing a mask.
that she has no interest in any type of background check whatsoever when it comes to government employees and interns. That is complete lunacy, and you want to know why? Because this exact issue that we're seeing with Eric Swalwell isn't the first time we've seen this before. Of course,
I bet he's not going to say because of Trump.
we all know, I don't even got to say the name, you're already thinking about it yourself, Senator Dianne Feinstein.
No, definitely wasn't thinking about that, but I'm interested.
We all know this story. Details surface about Senator Feinstein and the Chinese spy
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'll say this too. Fuck Dianne Feinstein. Haha. She can go to hell too.
who worked for her. New details emerged Wednesday about how a Chinese spy managed to stay by Senator Dianne Feinstein's side for nearly 20 years. It happened 5 years ago, but additional information is just surfacing about how the Bay Area senator's office was infiltrated by a Chinese spy. The Bay Area is a hotbed for Russian and Chinese espionage. Late last year, the Fed
That's pretty spicy, gonna say. Dude, fuck Dianne Feinstein. Like, fuck her also very much. I think she was one of the ones implicated in that insider trading shit when, you know, the old news dropped about the whole thing that killed 2020. And she was, like, one of the ones that, like, sold a bunch of stock right before the public found out. So, like, yeah, fuck her extra.
Fed shut down the Russian consulate in San Francisco. You may remember the thick black smoke that billowing from the building before Russian diplomats turned it over to authorities, presumably produced by burning documents.
Yeah, presumably.
Eyes on the Chinese intelligence in the Bay Area after the website Politico reported last week that a staffer for Senator Feinstein turned out to be a Chinese spy who reported back to government officials about local politics. 20 years Dianne Feinstein had a Chinese spy that worked right next to her. We're talking about government at the highest level being infiltrated. We're talking about mainstream senators and congressmen and women that have been compromised whether they know it or not. Not to mention, Democrats constantly pointing the finger at Donald Trump about Russian interference and Russian agents. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, and of course, in every Democrat stronghold, is exactly where that notion is more prevalent than anywhere else.
What does that mean, though? That's where the notion is more prevalent? You don't know that. That's not a thing that you can know or say. But okay, sure.
Again, projection and a total disregard for national security.
It's not projection. It's only projection if they know it. You know what I mean? Like what Trump and them do is projection. What the Democrats are doing is just being fucking incompetent and sucking at their job.
From the Democrats. And of course, that's the same thing that we saw with the Biden email scandal during the election itself. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff disregarding the entire thing, calling it a Russian disinformation campaign. Meanwhile, Hunter is an ongoing liability and
no, he's not. But yeah, them calling it a Russian disinformation campaign was pretty dumb. But to be fair, they got that information because Giuliani was heavily involved. And as it turns out, most of Giuliani's contacts for the Ukraine and for Russia are in fact members of the intelligence and counterintelligence community. So there's that whole thing. You know, whether they're high ranking or not, they keep getting caught as such. One of them was arrested at dinner with Giuliani. At dinner with Giuliani. You feel me? So, like, there's that.
National security risk to the entire country. But of course, that doesn't matter. Probably the absolute worst part about it is that Adam Schiff himself is the head of the Intelligence Committee. The head. And he had absolutely no interest in getting to the bottom of an actual security threat for...
Which isn't surprising. Adam Schiff can fuck off, too.
the American people because it went against his political side. Anything that's politically expedient is more important than the country. That is what we have seen from the Democrats at large. Not to mention they impeached a president for trying to inquire in said corruption.
That's not what he did at all. But okay.
And the potential that Biden was a compromised politician. And that was even before Joe Biden was nominated as the Democrat pick. So even their argument that he was going after his political rival wasn't necessarily true. And you'd think during a nomination process, whether a political figure and his family are compromised would be something you'd probably want to go through.
No. That was a weird thing to say. All that was a weird thing to say. It's pretty weird. The Biden thing didn't come up until after Trump started, after Trump got fucking caught for what he was doing over there. Which, if anybody who watched the briefings and the judiciary hearings and all that shit, where, oh, I wish I remembered the gentleman's name, the officer that like resigned from the military, and the ambassador who was like all the shit came up about people that were directly tied to Trump and his information or his actions, like saying that they needed to get rid of is her name Yaskanovich or no? Is it? Whatever. She, the ambassador to the Ukraine, when she started going after corruption, that assuredly involved people that Giuliani knew, whether Trump knew it or not. That's when she became the target of the smear campaigns. And that was laid out in court, under oath. Validated, corroborated. So, you know.
Something you'd want to weed out before...
That's the story of the impeachment.
Potential presidents for your party. It's a complete joke, friends. The Democrats have absolutely no interest in national security. They have absolutely no interest in...
Bro, I don't know about that, buddy. They do a lot of drone strikes. Not as many as Trump, but they really like drone strikes. A lot. They like drones. They like policing, foreign and domestic. They like security. Just because they don't want to autograph a fucking wall with a silver Sharpie. If that's your idea of security, your opinion doesn't matter.
Anything other than securing and maintaining the status quo. They have no interest in opposing viewpoints. They have no interest in getting to the bottom of any of it. If you need any more proof, here's a quote from Chuck Schumer recently. All Republicans have left is quackery and theories about the 2020 election.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with Chuck Schumer on that.
And the coup. Of course, we can't investigate.
Why? What is that? Why is that the word for it?
Things. People can't have different opinions than us, different opinions than the status quo. Everything must be controlled by the Democrat narrative. What we say goes. Our narrative is the gospel.
Bro, the narrative has been solidly controlled by the Republicans for the past, like, 2 or 3 fucking years, though, you know? There's really no Democratic narrative involved overall. The Republicans always win because everybody's a little bit racist. Still, even though they don't think so. And racism and predispositions about certain types of things like class, it all exists pretty heavily ingrained in the United States fabric of our society. And as such, since the Republicans are conservative and these values are also born from very old values, you see, conservatives who would like to conserve, as their namesake suggests, the values of the country, they line up a lot. The bias actually lines up pretty good and meshes together really well. So, you know, maybe you're right that the Democrats, the establishment, has controlled the narrative, but not nearly as like leftist or liberal as you think.
It's a racket, and the only one that stands to benefit from any of it are foreign entities. And another article headline that we could take from Real Clear Politics to cement that point even further, John Kerry, who's going to be part of Biden's administration, by the way, calls on the U.S. to strengthen...
Exactly. John Kerry is going to be part of Biden's administration. You could just stop there. Exactly. Fucking exactly.
In Paris Climate Accord, it has to be stronger. This is our moonshot. Of course, once again, pushing the Paris...
Goddamn,
which
dude.
benefits no...
Shut the fuck up about the Paris Accord. You have presented no evidence whatsoever about your opinions on this, the Paris Accord. You know, Paris is a fucking racist-ass place, too. So let's not act like there's some paradise. But as far as climate change goes, never would have been a Democratic narrative if it wasn't for Trump being a fucking... Let's see. Rex Tillerson, right? He was the first Secretary of State or whatever the fuck. Wasn't he? No, that couldn't have been what he was. What was he? You know, this is after his main career that he left for the White House job, which was let's see. Secretary of State, in fact, the first one. Well, not the first one. So from 2017 to 2018, maybe he was the first one. First recommended to then President-elect Trump from the Secretary of State by former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice, what is her political affiliation? Is she not fucking... I guess she may be a Republican. Is she... I don't know. Doesn't matter. She suggested Rex Tillerson, who, hilariously enough, CEO of an oil company. So you see, you can't really act like Trump ever gave a shit about the real effects of a climate change treaty when he's got a CEO of an oil company as Secretary of State, as almost the first person he had in office, and then just never stopped insisting that it was all a hoax. I believe he was one of the people that said some dumb shit about it being, oh, it's cold or something. He didn't bring the snowball on the Senate floor like that one dipshit. But yeah, Trump's like, it's cold. Why is cold if global warming? Ha! Checkmate, Democrat rats.
Nobody but the most wealthy globalist elite. Meanwhile, India, China, Russia...
How does the Paris Accord... How does climate change prevention benefit the wealthy global elites? I bet this dude likes Elon Musk. I bet he doesn't even understand that climate change would help him a lot. Because the guy fucking makes batteries and solar powered things. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The wealthiest global elite benefit from the Paris Accord. I don't know, maybe, but they benefit from everything, dog. That's why they're wealthy. Like, if they didn't already benefit from everything, they wouldn't be elite. You dumb son of a bitch. That's how it works. Fuck, dude.
Russia can pollute.
Trump's not stopping them from gaining money at all, dude. You know when the stock market does well that Trump likes to brag about? Do you know who makes money when the stock market does well? Do you know what the stock market is almost entirely a representation of? The money that belongs to the global elite. You stupid, stupid asshole. He brags about being good for the market. Who do you think is benefiting when the market goes up? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Maybe your 401k, if you have one, but everybody that voted for Trump that's not already making fucking $300,000 a year, the market doesn't affect them. My Robinhood portfolio goes up a few $100. Cool, you know? That's it. Like, what are you fucking saying?
Pollute the globe as they see fit.
Yeah, dude.
Our entire sectors and put the working class out of jobs. It's bad policy. It benefits nobody but them.
Again, so this idea that that what do you call it? Getting rid of oil industry jobs is just, they just make people homeless after that. Like there's no jobs in solar, there's no jobs in wind. There's no jobs for windmill technicians, because there are, and they pay very well. And it's an emerging thing. You know, re-education, or, well, that's not the right word to use for that. Retraining for careers, it's arduous, it's difficult, it's hard to figure out. But it'll be fine. They had to do the same thing during the Industrial Revolution, my guy. Like, we can't have another leap forward in technology without you accusing the Democrats of using it to kill jobs. Because, okay, and here's the other paradoxical fucking viewpoint with this whole, the global elite want to ruin everything. Where the fuck are they going to get their money from? And on whom are they going to use their power and their money if they fucking kill everybody's jobs and make it so nobody has any money? How will that work? How do the richest people in the world not understand that they're cutting their own legs out from underneath them if your accusations of them just destroying the economy on purpose are true? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Oops. None of it makes any sense. But that particularly is extremely confusing.
Them and the cronies that pay them, and it's a whole international racket. That's
Hold on. No, listen to that sentence.
Nobody but the most wealthy globalist elite. Meanwhile, India, China, Russia can pollute the globe as they see fit, as we tank our entire sectors and put the working class out of jobs. It's bad policy. It benefits nobody but them and the cronies that pay them, and it's a...
I don't think that's correct use of the word cronies, and I don't think that's who's paying whoever the fuck them are. Cronies don't pay you, dog. You pay cronies to do what you want to do. That's how the cronies works. Like Jared Kushner, he's a crony, because he's related to Trump, insofar as he's his son-in-law, and he is completely and entirely and could not be less qualified for his job in the White House. But there he sits. You see, that's a crony. He gets paid by Trump. He doesn't pay Trump. So, you know, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, even.
It's a whole international racket. That's what it is. The Democrats don't care about you. They don't care about patriotism, sovereignty. It's never been about that. It's always been about the Benjamins. It's always been about power on the...
Yes, unlike the man with a golden toilet. Unlike the man who only and exclusively brags about how good he is about money and making other people money and making himself money. Unlike that guy, the Democrats only want to make money.
global stage at the benefit of them and at the detriment of you and your standard of living. But that's what I got.
Unlike the guy who sold fucking steaks. He sold shitty steaks. He doesn't care about money. You're right.